Recently, Chicago Bulls guard Dwyane Wade, who was, we all know, played most of his career with the Miami Heat, and also for a 4-year stint played with the likes of the self-proclaimed King LeBron James, had an interesting take on the Michael Jordan-LeBron comparisons, which I'm pretty sure he's always asked about. Everyone's always asked about. He stated that he feels, in his opinion, that LeBron James cannot surpass, no matter what he does, he can't surpass the legacy of Michael Jordan. He said, quote, when asked about it, "No, it's not possible. It's not possible." He went on to say, the only thing you could do is tie it. There's no 19th hole. He was using a golf analogy. I think last year, not only in my eyes, but in a lot of people's eyes, really put him, he's on the 15th hole right now. He's on his way for sure. You can't go past it. How can you? That's as great as it gets, man. The only thing you can do, like I said, is be A1, AB. There's no way higher. So I was thinking about it, because in the past he was saying he thought, maybe it could be a chance that LeBron could surpass it. It could be that he's, newly acquired Chicago Bull. He's playing on the team of, that the greatest player of all time in many people's eyes was played on for many years, and he's worshipped in Chicago. He's from Chicago. But I think it's probably how he really feels about it. I've seen some people say things like, well, if LeBron wins 3 or 4 more rings, then maybe that could. I mean, it's not the championship. It's not just the championships. The championships was the tip of the iceberg. I get annoyed when I hear Skip Bayless say, well, LeBron's 3-4 in the finals. Jordan was 6-0. Like, as if Jordan and LeBron are only guys playing out there. There's so many other factors involved. But I will say this. Generally speaking, first of all, let me say this. I've seen some people say some erroneous things. Number one, Michael Jordan was not, and his teams, the Chicago Bulls were not always the favorites in the finals. You can make the argument they were the favorite in 91, but they were an unproven team. They were 61-21 going against the 58-24 Lakers, who had upset it, who kind of, I don't want to say steamrolled, but they kind of were rolling in the playoffs. Okay, they beat Run TMC, if I'm not mistaken, in the second round, I think. Then they upset the Portland Trailblazers. So many people felt like, and they were going against Magic Johnson, who was going for a 6th championship at the time. Many people felt like, Magic's experience would overtake the greatness of the Bulls. Now, in 92, they probably were favored against Portland. That's the year they won 67 games, like they was on the verge of winning 70, challenging the then record 69 wins by the 71-72 Lakers. Okay, but in 93, they weren't favored against the Phoenix Suns. They weren't even favored against the New York Knicks in the Eastern Conference Finals. They didn't have home court advantage to start the playoffs. Okay, in 96, yeah, that's a 72-win team. That was a historic team. Yeah. In 97, they probably were a little bit favored over Utah, but it wasn't a big thing, like, In 98, no, they weren't favored over Utah. We didn't have home court advantage. That's probably the weakest championship team. That last team, we were really on fumes. If Michael Jordan didn't nail that shot over Brian Russell, we would have lost Game 7. We were just depleted. That was the greatness of Michael Jordan right there. Whenever it came down to us in the clutch, talking about Chicago's Bulls, I never lost faith in Michael Jordan. Never. No matter what the fuck he was shooting. I don't care if he was shooting 3 for 21. I knew when a bucket came, what we needed, he was going to deliver in the clutch. I don't feel that way about LeBron all the time. And let us not forget, I remember, before I make that point, I remember an interesting game. It was in the 97-98 season when Jordan clearly was declining as a player. He had a game where he shot only 12 or 39 from the field. right? We're going against the San Antonio Spurs. He only shot 12 of 39, probably the worst shooting game of his career. One of the worst shooting games of his career. Scottie Pippen was out, so that's why he took so many damn shots. And every time in that game where we needed a bucket, he could have missed 4, 5, 6, 7 shots in a row. But every time when we needed him to make a shot, I knew he was going to make it, and he did. He hit the shot that sent the game to overtime. And he probably had missed like his last 8 shots or something. I mean, the guy, you just never doubted him. LeBron, sometimes I do. And, people also forget about Kyrie Irving. Like, Kyrie Irving was balling in that finals. I mean, he was putting on the Isaiah Thomas. He put on the Isaiah Thomas / Tiny Archibald performance in the finals at times. He was a phenomenal. And he doesn't really get credited as much. But, people talk about LeBron took this team and that team and this team, but, do people forget that he has Kyrie freaking Irving on his team? And Kevin Love? A guy who's put up 26 and 12 or 26 and 15 or 14 at one point in time in his career? So, as great as LeBron James is, at this point in time, no, he's not Michael Jordan. And Dwyane Wade is correct, in my opinion.